Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Israel and this is the look I will be showing you today, like how I created this look from the scratch from 0 to 100. So I will be working on this light skin by starting. So I'll be starting by cleaning her face with my micellar, and I already toned before this spray. I toned with rose water, and after that I am spraying, to make sure that her face is, a bit moisture, because she has a sort of combination and dry skin, so I have to make sure it's moist. Then I am going into my moisturizer. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I've always been talking about this, that you moisturize for all skin type, either dry or oily skin. Moisturizing is very important. Moisturizing the face is very important. And after that I go into my primer, and after my primer I have to lock the face with my Mario Badescu. Then after I had to wait for it to dry, and then after drying I went into my foundation, and if you look at her skin you can see that she has a light skin tone, and which her undertone is yellow, majorly is yellow. So I picked my foundation, baby to foundation with the yellow undertone, applied on her. Then after blending that I went into setting the face with the powder. So I already set the face with the powder, and after the powder I went into the contour, and after contouring I did my blush, and after my blush go into the concealer. And when you apply your concealer highlights, you necessarily don't need a lot of concealer, just a bit, and so that you can be able to blend easily. Alright, so after blending, and you have to make sure that you don't over go too way lighter than a skin when you are blending your, when you're applying your concealer. Okay, so don't over go too way light. And the main reason why I'm using the like a 3 shades lighter than a skin here is because I want this light effect around the inner corner of her eye. So I want that kind of effect, and don't forget I said you shouldn't use so much of concealer, so that it can ease your blending, and so that it doesn't mess up into your blush and other part of the face. Right, so I'm going into my contour to the inner corner of the eye, to the part of the nose, using my Made of Africa contour palette. And after that I am using my Damel into her brows. So that's, and one thing that I like about this Damel brow tint is that just leave it in for about 30 minutes and it's get dry instantly. Alright, so you are not going to have the creamy look on your brows and all that. And don't forget the rule of not leaving the face creamy. Alright, so after my concealer I have to set the face with the powder, which I go in to my 108 Milani single powder. And after that I set the face. And mind you, when you're setting with this, you only need a layer of your setting powder, and there's huge difference between baking and setting. So I have to pick the lightweight setting powder to set the face, just layer. Then after, and I go into my baking. So the baking is, you have, is more thick. The texture is more thicker, and you have to leave it in there for it to come out. So after that, I go into my brows using the almighty Davis pencil. And you notice you don't really need too much of pencil in the brows, right? So most usually for people that have full brows already, you're just filling in the brows. You're just filling in the gap. So which means that I am not necessarily touching the part where the person, my client, or my mother has natural brows. Okay, so I'm just filling in where the person does not have a natural brows. Why? Because you want to maintain a natural brows, which we call faded brows, or so called fainted brows. Then I go to my concealer. The concealer you're picking for your brows highlights must be almost, or if not, should be almost the same shade in which you used for the highlight. Alright, I mean for the highlight of the face, the temple, the under hair, and the chin. So after my brows, you can see that I am blending the extreme part of brows with my fingers so that there won't be an harsh line. And after that, I'm going into the upper part of the brows. And for the upper part of the brows, I don't really take too much of concealer on the upper part of my brows because I don't want it to look too dark. So I just want to leave my brows natural. Even most of the times, I don't even highlight the upper part of my brows because I want it very very natural as it can be. So, and don't forget the rule, which is don't leave anything creamy. All right. Sorry, don't leave your concealer creamy. Okay. So after my highlight, I like the brows. I had to set the brows again with my powder, which is I use the Milani 108 to set the brows. Then I'm going to my contour, which I'm using the Mother of Africa contour palette by contouring the inner corners of the eyes, outer corners of the eyes along into the crease line, trying to create a dark smoke effect at the outer corner of the eye. Alright, so this is interesting, but make sure when you are blending, you don't blend in this contour into the brow bone. So you can see that my brow bone is left out. I make sure that I don't exceed the crease. And I've seen a lot of people, when they're applying their primer along with their eyeshadow, it exceeds the crease and hence it enters the brows. It is totally wrong. So make sure you don't exceed the crease when you are applying your concealer as well as your eyeshadow. So I'm going into my pink eyeshadow. I am not really a fan of this kind of look, but I had to do this and I really enjoyed it. So I think I want to be doing more of this. I'm not the lousy shadow like that. So most of the times I do it any good shadow in quotes. But this, I love this. It's been a while I did this kind of popping pink, all these pinky orange shadows and all that. I'm not really a fan, but after doing this, I loved it. And so you'll be seeing more of that on this channel. Alright. So after applying my shadow, I came back to blend the crease line and using my transition brush to contour. You can see I'm contouring the outer corners. Don't forget that your blending should not exceed the crease, or most especially it shouldn't touch the brow bone. Alright, so you have to be extremely careful. Now this is the perfect way to apply your mascara. Your client closes her eyes, then you stretch it out, then you curl your mascara on those hairs. And when you do this, when the person closes their eyes and you curl your mascara, so if you press it up, you see that you're actually affecting both upper and the lower part of the lash, and that's the rim of the eye and the lash line. Alright, so after this I'm going into the lip. So using my Beyond Beauty powder palette, concealer. I'm using my Beyond Beauty lip palette. So pick this dark shade. I love ombre lips anyway, so I use the darkest shade of it to just line the lip, then go into a more of a nude pinky color and all that. Right, so just to pop it up. Right, so this is what I'm trying to do here. So whenever you are highlighting your lips, make sure you don't have stains at each corners of the mouth. We have these corners of the mouth, so make sure that you don't have stains on those parts. Then let her blend gently. It is always good to, when you're applying even anything, your eyeshadow, anything, even foundation on the face, make sure you don't go too way much when you're starting it. Alright, so it's always good to start gradual, then till it goes up like that. So don't just start it too way high. Alright, too much, so it's better to always go gradual. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do here. You see that I'm applying my lipstick gently till I achieve what I'm trying to do. So after this, I'm highlighting this. You can do these highlights with your powder or your concealer, in fact, or your foundation. And most of the time what I do is the leftover foundation that I used, I just used to highlight this without any stress. Okay, so I love what I see. Sometimes I have to blend the whole face, I've always been saying this, that don't be afraid to dab powder on your blush. Okay, it gives you this kind of hot effect. Okay, so I'm dabbing the powder on every part of her face, anyways. Okay, so like I said, I'm not scared, or don't be scared to apply powder on your blush. Okay, you can always come back and come back and come back and apply, and you apply your blush and it comes out. And